So I'm going to ask you five very quick questions, kind of a rapid fire, and you can answer, in one word, one sentence, whatever is convenient. Welcome to Tech Talk with T, presented by TechBreaks, a global technology content aggregator. My name is Sushmita Dasgupta. I'm a tea artist and founder of Tea with Sushmita. Today, I'm talking with Shubhodip Pontopadhyay. Shubhodip is the General Manager, Emerging Digital Technologies at UST Global. Prior to that, he was the Senior Director, IT, Supply Chain, and E-commerce at Carrefour. Today, Shubhodip is talking to us from Texas, where he is based currently. Welcome, Shubhodip.
Thank you, Shushmita. Pleasure to be here.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm well. Thank you.
Uh, so I'm sure that before COVID had happened to the world, there are a lot of things that are happening in the retail domain, particularly in the technologies. But post COVID, things have completely changed, right? And
That's right.
that little that I understand about retail technologies, I am seeing that there is a trend which is uh, things that could have happened maybe 10 years later is now happening right now because of what has happened. So, what are your thoughts about the global trends in retail technology, and how do you think in near future the customers are going to shop or the retailers are going to sell?
It's a very big shift post COVID, of course, across the globe. COVID has essentially given a different perspective, the way customers engage with retailers,
Hmm.
not just supermarket, fashion brands, luxury brands, travel retail all over the world. My point being that retail is not just supermarket retail, it's a big industry, millions of people engaged worldwide. And from that perspective, we see, allow me to enjoy my tea.
Yes, of course. Your morning tea and my evening chai.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we see that, I mean, all over the world, we have seen that certain section of retail industry is impacted deeply, which is to say that apparel stores, the stores which sell typically apparel, clothing, general merchandise items, high end fashion, travel retail, those stores are deeply impacted. Millions of people have lost their job, businesses are affected, many companies filing for bankruptcy. While at the same time, supermarkets across the globe, after that initial jolt of 4 weeks to 6 weeks of jolt, they have bounced back significantly. In fact, Christmas came to them much early in 2020. They all had record breaking quarter. All of them have adopted extremely well, I would say, with varying degrees of capability and efficiency with the new normal, where customers are placing order from home and expecting either those merchandise, those goods delivered at their home, or they're doing click and collect. They're coming to the store, not going inside, sitting in a car parking lot, and somebody is handing over their shopping basket or shopping bag to them. So from a customer perspective, if we look at United States, earlier online click and collect put together, it used to be around 3.5% of supermarket retailing business. Today, it has gone up by as high as 11%, which is a very, very large number by US standard. Same thing happening in UK and I'm sure multiple places across APJ.
Mm.
So these are the trends in terms of consumer shopping, customer shopping behavior. So to answer your question, retailers, how they're adopting in terms of technology trend, typically from the retail perspective, they are investing heavily in building the digital capabilities, which will make them future proof 2021 and beyond. So we see accelerated adoption of e-commerce specifically fulfillment, employee productivity tools across the genre of software. We also see significant investment going towards improving their supply chain efficiency. Because if you promise a customer that your baked bean and cauliflower will be ready in 4 hours or 8 hours time, you better make sure that it is ready. So that means the whole supply chain has to be extremely agile. So that is where retailers are improving and investing in material handling technology inside their distribution center, fulfillment centers, going for massive RFID adoption program to ensure that the right merchandise inside the store are really available and the store picking person is able to identify those merchandise right on time to meet your customer SLA demand.
Right.
So these are some of the significant changes which I see in the technology world, which is happening. And this is an irreversible trend, by the way. We think that this is an irreversible trend. Surely percentage may come down, but this is going to stay.
Right. So continuing with what you said, I was going through some of the latest news happening. So I saw that there's something called Corner Store that Capgemini has launched in UK sometimes back. What are your thoughts on that? Is it something that's going to be something similar to that, or that people would see more, or what are your thoughts like about that corner store concept?
Yeah, surely. So cornerstone concept by Capgemini is essentially they're trying to bring a new thought leadership approach to the whole future of retail. And future of retail is really future of retail today. The future is now. So from that perspective, as I said in the previous segment, that retail is not just supermarket retail. So high street retail is very important globally. Shopping malls are extremely important from a retail ecosystem perspective, so that customers continue to get wide range of merchandise at a different price point. So store retail initiative which Capgemini has introduced, I think they are in the right direction, of course. They are trying to create an environment, physical and digital environment, where retailers and customers can experience that how the whole story would unfold in near future, and what are the digital tools and technologies these retailers would be able to adopt and see a clear impact in three vectors. I'm not a Capgemini employee, but whatever media research I have done, that clearly indicates fundamental three principles or three vectors of retail. How can I get more customer intimacy by improving customer experience in post-COVID world, so that my customers stay with me and I am able to grow my customer base? So customer experience inside a physical store is of utmost importance. So I think corner store program addresses that. The other two vectors, of course, along with everything else, is how do I improve my sales? At least hold on to my previous pre-COVID sales level and improve on that. If I'm able to improve on my sales, then automatically it improves my bottom line, which is my gross margin. Every dollar of gross margin which a retailer earns, a substantial part of that is invested. So that gives even a small mom and pop store or even a fashion brand on a high street that ability to invest in digital tools and technology and go for, as I said, future proofing their business beyond 2021.
Okay, right. So if I have to, go back to my first question and keeping in my second question, if I may ask you, what are the kind of retail technologies you are using at this time or you are deploying at this time? What are the things that you are working on currently?
Right. So we are working on something which we strongly believe in, frictionless commerce. So frictionless commerce essentially goes to the whole concept that where customers feel safe, secure, and confident in shopping inside a physical store, whether it's a convenience store, whether it is a cafeteria, whether it is a corporate cafeteria or a coffee chain, where it's all voice, gesture, and most importantly, computer vision enabled, which means that you as a customer, you are expected to continue, going to a shopping mall, coffee store, uh, when you are in office, corporate cafeteria. How can you have a frictionless experience, not standing in a queue unnecessarily for your shopping bag with your shopping bag, or standing in a queue in a restaurant or in a cafeteria for your product to be built? That brings two advantage. One, for last, I mean, for since shopping got invented, organized shopping, nobody loves to stand in a queue. People love shopping, but they don't love shopping standing in a queue. So that eliminates that huge big issue. Second, what we have seen in matured markets, courtesy e-commerce boom, there is massive shift of uh, workers from restaurant, QSR, retail industry to online channels. The wage structure is perhaps more healthy on those areas. So people in certain segments like convenience stores, gas station, convenience stores, restaurant, cafeteria, they're struggling to get adequate people to man their cash tills, which adds zero value from a customer perspective. Customer do not see that as a benefit. So we remove, using the frictionless store technology, these non-value added uh, operating cost significantly. At the same time, this frictionless commerce technology cuts across spectrum of retail, which means the technology equally applies to a high-end fashion store or a luxury retail or travel retail, supermarkets. So multiple formats. Along with that, we are also seeing very good market demand for technology which supports click and collect. For instance, different types of locker infrastructure, temperature control locker infrastructure. And we also see that since retailers are investing in these digital tools in the to be more agile in e-com new world, they also need a significant amount of cash to invest in those tools and technology. So significant demand to monetize their physical assets inside the store. And that's a very natural thing. It should have happened long back, but now the trend is happening, which means how can I create an environment within a store where Unilever, P&G, Nestle's of the world are able to give a direct engagement with the customer, whether it is through showing them a beautiful advertorial about their product, or educating the customer about the nutritional value of their food, or engaging a kid in the toy section in whichever possible meaningful way. So providing that double click experience, when you shop online, you double click on a product and you see their attributes, products, benefits, reviews, all of that. So how can you bring all of these things in a meaningful, phased, practical manner inside the store and still able to unlock the value of your asset inside store is a significant initiative. To summarize these three things: frictionless commerce, store as a media, and of course, the whole computer vision driven multiple initiatives. So these are some of the things where my team and our team is focused on as we speak.
Okay, great. So, if you, because you look after the global market, so if you can just very briefly tell us which part of the world you see this technology adoption happening the fastest.
I see that United States being one of the largest market segment, the decision making process in United States with business leaders is very fast.
Mm.
So people do not waste time in taking decisions and adapt to new things. The risk taking ability, the mindset is significantly high in certain
Higher.
sections of the world, and United States being one of them. We also see the same story cutting across in Western Europe. We see in key markets in Southeast Asia like Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Singapore, multiple other Asian markets. It's really not a question of which market. It's a question of leadership and the ability to guide the company to the next level of evolution by adoption of digital tools and technology and business processes, of course. So these are some of the markets and companies which are, exhibiting strong leadership to take their company to the next level by adoption of digital tools and technologies.
Okay, great. So let me ask you some different questions now.
Sure.
Uh,
Again, I will enjoy my tea.
yes,
So
please. What tea are you drinking right now? What is this tea?
I'm drinking Assam tea, Assam black tea.
Assam black tea. Okay. Are you
Yes.
putting any milk into that?
I do put some milk into it. Yes, I do.
So I am actually drinking. This is called whiskey flavored tea. So
Wow.
this is a signature blend that I have created. So I thought this is Saturday evening here, and I have to, and I only drink tea. So maybe I can combine both and have kind of a
Of course, of
flavored
course. What a
whiskey.
wonderful idea. Wonderful idea. But I have to go and play with squash after this, so I
No,
cannot enjoy whiskey flavored
it's,
tea.
is completely non-alcoholic. There's no
Oh,
alcohol.
fantastic. That's fantastic. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. All right. So you are a chartered accountant by your profession, right? I mean, you studied chartered accountancy a long time back, and you started your career and etc. So how easy or difficult or interesting it is to have a chartered accountancy as a background and then run a technology team or be part of a technology driven company? How easy or difficult is it? Or how did you make that happen?
So it's a very interesting story. So before coming to technology company, I'm a retailer by heart. So when I used to work as a finance professional, then also I started my journey with RPG Food World way back in 2000. So I was very passionate about retail and continued working in retail industry, as you said, with multiple companies, RPG, Spar, and then with Carrefour. Of course, Carrefour is one of the best global retailers for many, many years. So that passion of retail, that essentially taught me multiple things. It's multitasking, retail, and everything is in detail, right? Retail is in detail, as we call it.
Yes.
So from that, pivoting to technology, service, solution, sales, business development, essentially, was not a big shift. It's I would say that one has to come out of the comfort zone and do what your heart really wants to do. So every day morning, if you wake up and think that I will do this,
Mm.
this is what I'm good at, then you would be able to do that very well. So all through my life, I tried following that same principle. So initially as a finance professional, then as a retail technology, supply chain, e-commerce professional, and then switching side on the other side and doing technology solution sales is pretty interesting. It's the risk-taking ability, I would say.
So, what would you advise, to young professionals who would like to kind of follow your steps, perhaps footsteps, or be in a position like you sometimes in their life? What would be your advice to them?
My advice would be that this is the time, once in a lifetime opportunity, perhaps for youngsters globally, courtesy the investment environment which exists everywhere outside the traditional investment opportunities, to latch on to that, go out of your comfort zone, take that risk early in your life, and do what you really want to do. If you want to fly kites and that's what gives you fantastic experience, go and fly kites. Why not? Maybe you'll be the best kite flyer in the world. Or if you think that you would invent a different kind of a tea kettle and you have a brilliant idea, go ahead and do that. There is nothing wrong with it. You will learn a lot, not just about the product or services. You learn a lot about what life is all about, and that experience will teach you what not to do in future. So the single message from my side would be that go out of your comfort zone, follow your heart, follow your passion, and do whatever you want to do, then don't back out. Go all the way and follow through.
So take risk and
Yes,
get it done, whatever it is.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. How important is failure in one's career? Have anything in your life that you would consider failure and you
Multiple.
learned out of it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Multiple. So there are multiple thoughts, right? So it's a left brain, right brain decision in a business situation. So one has to, some of the decisions which you take in retrospect, those were all either right or wrong decisions, either way. So yes, I have faced multiple failures on multiple business decisions which I took as a professional employee in my professional career. But yes, learned a lot from those things and essentially learned what not to do in a given situation, in a given circumstance, in a given business problem. So learning what not to do and taking that lesson from failure is very important.
Yes, learning what not to do. Yes, that is very
What not to do. That's very important.
right, right. Okay, so we are at the almost at the end of the talk. So I'm going to ask you 5 very quick questions, kind of a rapid fire, and you can answer, in one word, one sentence, whatever is convenient. Okay, so question number 1: Intel is
I'm sorry?
Intel is
Intel is a semiconductor company.
all right. My favorite global cuisine is
Bengali food.
oh wow. Okay. 3 things I cannot live without.
Tea. Tea. My set of newspapers, Financial Times, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and of course, squash.
Okay, great. Tea to human is like complete the sentence.
Like water to a fish.
Wow. Yes. Okay. The easiest way to understand technology is to
It's to familiarize yourself by reading more and talking to various people. Unclutter your thoughts, essentially.
okay. All right. Great. And last but not the least, any plan for entrepreneurship?
Many, as a matter of fact, many.
Okay.
Wait and watch this space.
All right. It was so much fun talking to you. It was a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Shushmita.
And
Thank you.
all the best for your next squash game coming up.
Thank you, Shushmita. Have a wonderful evening. You too. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Pleasure having you here. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.